Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahushai, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahushai, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahushai, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakwakadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and Akim, doing the work of Yahweh Shemeshai in sincerity, in truth and diligence of mind. This is Brother Nash of DC Camp with another short lesson to edify the hopeful elect. And it's not looking good for America, in terms of geopolitics. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. The economy, we don't know how long it's going to stay afloat, all right? Because it's messed up, man. But I'll just focus on this so-called, pipeline, this Nord Stream pipeline. Because it's part of prophecy, man. Geopolitics, you can't ignore it. It's one of those things, man. One of those issues you have to address when you're doing the work of Yahweh Shimei Shah. So, this issue of oil and natural gas, that all these countries in Europe, Asia, South America, whatever the continent they're on that they have to rely on, is becoming a bone that Israel can't swallow no more here in the West. And the EU countries have to look towards Russia for energy, for fuel. And America is not happy about that. The American companies are not happy about that. The only way they could make money off the deal is if they were involved, but they're not involved in it. So it's competition, man. So all these American oil companies will have to find something to do. And that's why they want to go to Venezuela. They want to get that oil, They want to get that oil, So it's just part of prophecy, You just have to do what needs, needs to be done in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. So I'll play the video and I get a precept.
The U.S. has increasingly set its sights on Europe's lucrative energy market, but the Czech president has looked over the numbers and says importing gas from across the Atlantic could cost nearly a third more than Russian supplies.
Buying American liquefied gas would mean an increase of about 30% on what's spent on buying Russian gas.
And that's a fact right there, because you don't have no pipelines going from the American continent through the Atlantic Ocean all the way to Europe. It's going to be so damn expensive. And it's even expensive when you put it on the freight lines or whatever. And then you have to sail across the Atlantic to deliver it to the next side. That takes a long time, man. You can't just be moving at high speed when you have gallons and thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons of fuel in the bow of a ship. You try to deliver that. It doesn't make sense, man, and it's not safe, And that's why you have all these oil spills, man. Ships just capsize and it breaks down. All of a sudden, start to leak. All of a sudden, you have natural disaster. It's difficult to manage. Your insurance rate is high, And that's one thing the Edomite guy from Austria was talking about. It costs more. It's going to cost more getting American liquefied, natural gas or whatever they want to call it. It's going to cost more, and Russia is nearby. And all you got to do is just pump it out of the ground, do whatever they need to do to refine it, and then they transport it via those pipelines, to the nearest destination. It could be Greece, it could be the UK, it could be Germany. There's already a pipeline going through Ukraine, but due to corruption issues and geopolitics and change of regime, it's not looking good for Russia to rely upon Ukraine. So they use a different avenue, and the United States don't want that. The United States corporations don't want it. but still gonna lead, to World War III, because America is losing its influence, and it's just a fulfillment of Obadiah. The whole book of Obadiah, how the EU nations, they're gonna move away from America's influence, and it's gonna be so traumatic for the American society, for America's government. Because the elites already putting the plug on America, man. America once was, you know, has been, so America is no longer the main flavor anymore, man. They're looking to other avenues where they could make deals, so they've already shut the door on America. So America just needs to have one last hoorah, and that's it.
President also back to Germany over the Nord Stream 2 gas project. The 1,200-kilometer pipeline will deliver Russian gas to Europe through the Baltic Sea. The multinational project involves 5 Western investors. $9.5 billion are being spent on the project, which is intended to double Russian gas imports to Europe. It is projected.
And those jakes that have a background in chemical engineering and all this process management, whatever, that are into dealing with civil engineering and all that stuff, geophysics and geology. They make good money when they work with these oil companies, and fluid dynamics, so they understand, man, that things have to be done to make sure the product is delivered on time and in the safest way. So there's always money to be made in this oil business, man. So don't be surprised when you see a Jake going into the ins and outs, the details about oil refinery, how it's done, what you need to do, the materials you need, the type of equipment you need. Yep. So don't be surprised, man, because Jake is in every field, of science, engineering, industrial management, whatever. Jake is there, man. You will have Jakes that be the captains of these ships that transporting all this fuel from one continent to the other, moving all these goods from one continent to the other.
Expected to be completed in November. But the United States considers Nord Stream 2 to be a geostrategic threat and has been threatening companies and countries involved.
Yeah, it's a geostrategic threat. Well, it's business, you know. If America was that, close to Europe geographically, it wouldn't be an issue. The competition will be hot, but now competition is not hot because America doesn't have that advantage. All right, so they have to find something to do. They have to start thinking about, sanctions on these corporations that are involved in building that pipeline. From Russia to Germany. It has to go through the sea, the Black Sea. And then the Norwegians are also involved. So it's just a hot mess for ESA, man, here in the United States, man. So they have to look at other avenues of investment. All right, they have to come up with a new form of innovation to make ends meet. To bring in more capital, to make profit. All right, so I'll play the video some more.
With sanctions. It also wants its NATO allies to stop cooperating with Russia's Gazprom over the project. So far,
and that's it. It says right there, it doesn't want its NATO allies to be cooperating with Russia. So there is no unity with the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. All right. So I'm going to read Obadiah chapter 1 verse 6 and 7. So it says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. All right, so it's looking less promising, man, for the United States. So what are they gonna do, man? What are they gonna do? So it's just gonna be war, man. That's why they have that issue down there in Venezuela. The elites want to go down there and, and snatch up something. Snatch up that oil, by any means necessary. But hey, who knows how the Lord about Shimasha is gonna let it happen, all right?
Oh, the threats have not really worked.
President Trump has clearly said that the United States is against this project. Buying gas from the United States would not be a problem for us, but as long as Russia's price is better than that of the United States, Russia is...
Yeah, that's the issue, man. It's a matter of cost. It's a cost-benefit analysis, that these people have, these European nations have to look at, man. Their lands and all that's not as productive as they are. They have to import food from other countries and all that stuff. They have to process, food, raw materials from Africa, from Asia, and all that, and they have to send it back so they could make a profit. You go into all these these stores in Africa, you look at all that, Swiss cheese and chocolate and all that stuff. It's from this European country. They get the chocolate, they get the cocoa from Africa, they process it, and they bring it back to Africa through their distributors, and they sell it for a profit. And that's how they make money. But then the money you make from all that business, you're gonna spend it on trying to get to expensive some expensive products from America. It doesn't work that way, man. So they're trying to balance the budget of their own economy, so it doesn't make sense, to spend all that money that you've earned from other trade deals and just throw it down the drain because you don't want to do deals with someone that's living next door to you that has a product that you could get just like that, at the tip of of your hand. Why you gotta look at thousands of miles away? So it's interesting how it's gonna play out. So I play the video. So I read it out the line. It says buying gas from the United States would not be a problem for us, but as long as Russia's price is better than that of the United States, Russia is more attractive for us as a partner on this issue. And then, would the United States be willing to lower its price on oil or whatever energy product is shipping? Would they be able to? Then the companies will have to make a decision. How low are they willing to sell their products, to these European nations, and to prevent them from going along with Russia, and the company will look at how much are we willing to risk in profits, so it's interesting. I'll upload a video and then have an idea.
more attractive for us as a partner on this issue.
And it's common sense, Hakim, and it says US ambassador wrote to German companies involved in the Nord Stream 2 project threatening sanctions. So, hey, America loves sanctions, but how long, kind of depend on sanctions. When countries start breaking ties with the United States and start looking in a different direction, start ignoring America's diplomats and gestures, for goodwill, so it's gonna be funny. They say, well, if you come into our state or country, you need a special type of background check. Little petty things like that, man. So that's what happens, man.
Unacceptable, one-sided tightening of the tone.
The main cause why Donald Trump doesn't want the infrastructure for Germany to get, or for Europe to get Russian gas, because if they haven't got the infrastructure, they are forced to take the much more expensive US liquid gas. And for the US, it is indeed a geostrategic matter because the US has less and less what they can offer the world. Otherwise, they are threatened to get bankrupt.
And that's another issue too, man.
Tone.
Even with the oil in Libya, would they want to build a pipeline that goes from Libya all the way to southern tip of Europe to Spain or wherever, you know? Who knows? So it just lets you question what's going on behind these closed doors when these folks are having meetings, man. When these corporations are having meetings that no one knows about, and then you read about it months later. So it just lets you know that the Lord about Shimei Shai is exposing the alliance that's breaking down between these Edomites, man, because it's part of prophecy. So I just say Ka Hala Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakwakwadash, and double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles. Good Mr. On rule well. And Kim, just stay faithful, stay humble, man. You can't ignore these events that are happening, man. It's not a joke, but hey, it's it's serious, man. Things like this lead to all-out war, man. You start hearing about economic sabotage and sanctions and people getting assassinated. You know, uh, Espionage. Stealing of blueprints. Stealing of intellectual property. So it just let you know, man, that Lord Yabashima Shai is setting up the stage for World War III, and that Hakim should be prepared in the spirit. So Hakim, stay faithful, stay humble, keep your eyes open, and Shalom.